All right, let's talk about this Oregon Ducks football team here for a little bit. Off to a solid start. A couple early game struggles to get the rhythm going, but we know this team is heading in the right direction. Now coming off a bye, getting ready for conference play. And during that bye, the Oregon Ducks just got some great news. Looks like they're about to pull off a massive move. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, as we're in the thick of the regular season, obviously everyone's focused on what happens on Saturdays. Of course, wins and losses. Can you get to the playoff? Can you win a national title? Obviously. So it's what makes this football season so great, of course. But what smart programs do, and of course, Dan Lanning, Oregon, very smart program. They're one of the best in the entire country, is they are always focused on the long term as well in terms of keeping a solid pipeline of talent going. And it looks like based on this latest update from the recruiting side of things, Oregon may be about to pull off an incredible recruiting flip. Let's pull up this report courtesy of SI.com. Four-star offensive lineman Douglas Utu committed to the Tennessee Volunteers in June, but the Oregon Ducks are currently training to flip Utu from Tennessee. Oregon coach Dan Lanning and the rest of his staff used the bye week as an opportunity to hit the road recruiting, and the Ducks are attempting to flip multiple committed recruits from across the country. On Friday, September 20th, On3 national insiders Steve Wiltfong and Chad Simmons, both very smart people, both placed predictions for the Ducks to flip Utu from Tennessee. According to the 24/7 Sports Composite, Utu is the number 69 recruit in the country and number one from the state of Nevada, regardless of position. Again, this is what the great programs do. Bye weeks, any opportunity they can get, always be recruiting, look for any advantage. Credit to Dan Lanning. And I think based on these experts' reports, they're about to pull off this big move here. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are. But first, Oregon fans in the comment section below, heading into Big Ten play this weekend. Are you ready for Big Ten football? So you're playing UCLA to Big Ten football? You know what it is. It's a weird world we live in, but Big Ten matchup, UCLA, Oregon Ducks. Give us your prediction for this first conference game. It's still a conference game, former Pac-12, now Big Ten. Guess it's all the same. Give us your prediction, final score, Oregon Ducks, UCLA Bruins in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news for the Oregon Ducks?
Yeah, Nick, it is a crazy football world we live in nowadays. All these teams switching conferences. Now seeing Oregon, they are competing against an SEC powerhouse in Tennessee to get this flip. And I think that is the most impressive part for me. I think them going after Utu, who has been committed to Tennessee, and potentially we're seeing it as before our very eyes. It looks like they are favored to flip him and get him to come to Oregon. I think this is incredible news for the Ducks because we're talking about the number 5 team in the country right now. Tennessee is not some, middle of the road SEC team. This is the top dogs. This is college football playoff contenders. Oregon has an explosive performance against Oregon State. Like you said, the good teams always recruiting. They use that performance, springboard it into their bye week. The only opportunity they have to go out and try to flip some guys. And I think there's a couple strategies. You could go out, see your local guys, see a lot of, mundane, regular stuff. But that's not what Oregon does. They say, hey, we have an opportunity to swing for the fences here. Let's go out and try to get some of the big dogs that we've been going after. It's exactly what Dan Lanning and co have done. We talked about it all offseason last year, just how successful they have been in recruiting in the transfer portal. And I think we're seeing it here, never slowing down. Once again, the Ducks have gone out, gotten an absolute beast of a player in Utu, and potentially have him flip to this team. I think this will be huge for them going forward, especially bolstering those offensive line ranks.
And I think you hit on something there with the Oregon Ducks strategy, using the bye week to go national. I know a lot of programs, they try and keep things local and focus on, the local kids and things like that, shoring that area up, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that strategy. But one thing I really like about what Dan Lanning is doing here, and for people who have ever played college football, and I played small level D1 AA college football, as a player, as a coach, the season, I'm going to be honest with you, it sucks. It's a grind. It is monotonous. Day in and day out, right? Sunday practice, Monday off, Tuesday practice, Wednesday practice, Thursday practice, Friday walkthrough, Saturday game, Sunday practice, mix in a bunch of lifts and film reviews. Day in, day out, week in, week out, every single week for the length of the entire fall. It is a grind. It is painful. It is monotonous, for lack of a better word. It really stinks when you're caught up in it because it is just mentally and physically exhausting, both for players and assistant coaches. So what does Dan Lanning do? He takes his assistants, sends them national. breaks it up a little bit, says, all right, guys, it's the bye week. Instead of you guys still caught the same monotonous grind of being on campus, being on Eugene like you've been doing 18 hours a day for the past, 150 days so far, 120 days, however long since the end of summer ball or towards the end of summer ball, summer workouts. Let's go national a little bit. I'll let you guys out and let you travel, kind of shake things up. I love that from Dan Lanning. I think Nick Saban used to do this a lot. Kirby Smart does this too. I think it's a really smart strategy. Using the bye week to give your coaches a little bit of a mix up, a little bit of a shake up by sending them nationally recruiting is a really, really smart strategy. It also takes advantage of some programs that don't go national, allows you to go into places like Nevada, where you've got a big time national recruit here and try and get him while other programs are staying local. So you're taking advantage of an opportunity there while also just kind of shaking up the monotony for your assistant coaches. Because that's another thing to remember, right? Players are caught in this grind. The assistants are caught in this grind just the same way. You don't want to get complacent. It's a long season, especially now more than ever with a 12-team playoff on the end of it. You want to keep as much of everyone on their toes, on their edge as they work their way through September, through October, so that way they're not totally burnt out towards the end of the season. So obviously it's great news that they're heading toward a big time recruiting flip. I think they'll get it done. Wilt Fong, he's one of the smartest guys in this game. I really trust his predictions, but I think the strategy of also allowing his assistants to go national during the bye week to shake things up is a really smart move as well by Dan Lanning.